All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going to uncork Catalonia, which is hands down one of Spain's most exciting and dynamic wine regions. We're going to take a tour through this incredible world of wine and really figure out how can one single region produce so many different, amazing styles. This idea of a mosaic is absolutely the key to understanding Catalonia. It's not one single picture. Instead, it's this collection of unique, vibrant little pieces that when you put them all together, they form this stunning whole. So let's go explore what makes up this wine mosaic, tile by tile. So to really get this mosaic, we have to start at the bottom with the foundations. We're going to look at the ancient history and, just as important, the unique land that gives Catalan wine its soul. I mean, just look at this timeline. The roots of wine here go so deep. It all started with the Phoenicians and Greeks, but then the Romans came in and turned it into a serious business, a major export. Fast forward through the Middle Ages, you've got monasteries basically saving all that winemaking knowledge. And then, bam, the late 19th century, a total turning point. You get the birth of the iconic Cava, followed by the absolute devastation of phylloxera. But, and this is the amazing part, the region rebuilt itself, focusing on quality and creating the industry we know today. What a comeback story. Okay, before we go any further, we have to talk about terroir. Now, it's a French word, I know, but it's like the secret code to understanding wine everywhere, especially in a place as varied as Catalonia. It's not just about the dirt. It's everything. The climate, the soil, the altitude, the geography. It's the vineyard's unique fingerprint. And it's the reason wines from two places right next to each other can taste completely different. So here are the key pieces of that Catalan terroir puzzle. You've got the Mediterranean climate near the coast, right? That gives you those fresh, aromatic wines. But head inland, and it gets more continental, more extreme, and that's where you get bolder, more structured styles. The landscape goes from flat plains to crazy steep mountains. And the soil, it's just an incredible mix. Limestone, clay, granite, and that famous slate we're going to talk about in a minute. It all comes together to create this true mosaic of wine styles. All right, now let's see this terroir thing in action. We're going to put two of Catalonia's most famous regions head-to-head. They're practically neighbors, but believe me, their wines could not be more different. This is where that mosaic really comes to life. Okay, first stop, Penedès. This is the heartland of Cava. The key phrase here is traditional method. What does that mean? It means the magic. All those beautiful bubbles are created during a second fermentation that happens right inside every single bottle. Yep, it's the exact same technique they use in champagne, and it's what gives Cava those fine, elegant bubbles and those complex, toasty notes that make it so special. Now, let's take a trip over to Priorat, where the entire story is about the soil. It's called Licorella. It's this dark, rocky, slate soil that's incredibly poor in nutrients. The vines have to literally struggle for survival, driving their roots deep, deep down through the rock just to find water. This means they produce very few grapes, but every single grape they do produce is packed, and I mean packed, with intense flavor and minerality. That struggle is the secret to the wine's power. So let's put them side by side. I mean, this chart says it all, right? On one hand, you have Penedès. Its gentle, rolling hills and limestone soils give us fresh, crisp, bubbly Cava. On the other hand, you have Priorat. Its steep, slate mountainsides give us these powerful, concentrated, mineral-driven red wines. We're talking completely different grapes, different soils, different landscapes, creating totally opposite styles of wine. This right here is the Catalan mosaic in action. It's incredible. So we've explored the where, the canvas, if you will. Now let's look at the what. If the regions are the canvas, then the grapes. Well, the grapes are the colors a winemaker gets to paint with. And wow, what a palette they have to work with in Catalonia. You've got the native grapes, the autochthonous ones. These are the real soul of the region. White grapes like Geraleo give Cava its structure and acidity. Reds like Garnacha and Cariñena bring that classic Mediterranean power and fruit. But Catalonia is also super open to international grapes, using them brilliantly to add things like body, spice, and extra complexity to their blends. And here's a perfect example of a native grape finding its one true home. Garnacha Blanca, or white Grenache, absolutely thrives in the Terra Alta subregion. In fact, this is the biggest planting of this grape anywhere in Spain. And the wines it makes here are just wonderfully distinctive, full-bodied white wines. It's a perfect marriage of a specific grape and a specific terroir. Okay, for our final stop on this tour, let's look ahead. So how does a region with literally thousands of years of history stay fresh and relevant?
Well, they do it by masterfully balancing that deep, deep tradition with a constant hunger for innovation.
And this isn't some kind of conflict between the old and the new. It's actually a perfect partnership. Winemakers are honoring tradition by farming those ancient, backbreaking terraces and by championing their native grapes. But at the very same time, they're using modern tech, like drones, for super precise farming, and are leading the world in organic practices to protect that very same land for generations to come. And look, this commitment to sustainability isn't just talk. The growth in certified organic vineyards across Catalonia has been absolutely explosive. This is way more than a trend. It's a really deep-seated belief in making wines that are a pure, honest expression of a healthy, living terroir. So we end right back where we started, with this beautiful image of a mosaic. A mosaic that's ancient, sure, but it's also constantly changing and evolving. This fusion, this respect for the past, and this courage to innovate, it guarantees that this picture will never truly be finished. Which just leaves one question, right? What exciting new piece will they add to it next?